Greetings everybody, my name is Tommy and welcome to another one of my Halo reviews. Well, I'm getting sick of the Master Chief Collection, so I'm going to be reaching out for something different before going on to Halo 4. Let's take a look at Halo Reach. Now, Halo Reach is kind of a special game for a lot of Halo fans. It's the last game the original developers at Bungie made before leaving Microsoft, and there's even a goodbye message at the end of the game. It also has a pretty decent story. Sure, it doesn't move things further along in the main story as it is a prequel, but it does have some good ideas and it doesn't feel like it's spinning its wheels too much, unlike ODST. In fact, elements of this story actually come out when you play through Halo 4. So let's take a look at Halo Reach. This game's story takes place right before the original Halo on the planet Reach, which is humanity's largest and most protected colony. You play as Spartan Noble 6, who doesn't have a real name, nor do you ever see his face, but he's not a silent protagonist. He talks about as much as the Master Chief.
Lieutenant.
Commander, sir.
The Noble 6 team is called to get rid of some rebels in a mountainous area, but rather than finding a ragtag group of rebels, they find that the Covenant has discovered Reach and is now attacking it. The game goes on there describing the events and missions that the Noble team does in order to protect Reach. Every time the Noble team scores a victory, it seems the Covenant strike back even harder. The game goes really dark in its atmospheres and settings towards the end of the game, when the whole planet is literally turned into a burning hell. And while most of the game is kind of filler, it does give us some backstory on Dr. Halsey and Cortana, which is used a lot in Halo 4 and 5 storylines. Overall, the fall of Reach makes for an enjoyable sci-fi romp shooter. Alright, the same basic gameplay elements from the Halo series can still be found here. You only have two weapons, and the rechargeable shields are once again back in play, as you are now a Spartan again. But unfortunately, you still have a health meter that does recharge a little bit when your shields go up, but finding health packs is still something you're going to have to be doing. It's annoying, but out of all the Halo games that went the health pack route, this one's by far the least annoying with it. For weapons, you have all the old standby ones like the assault rifle, but you have a few new ones. I like this needler assault rifle that you can pick up, but the biggest thing you can add to your armory are these new power-ups like jetpacks or the shield overcharge, which keeps you kind of protected for a brief period of time. Things bounce off you while you're in this locked up pose, and it's actually kind of fun to use. The stages for the most part are memorable and well done. There was one or two areas I found myself lost in, but I usually wound up kicking myself when I found the door right under my nose. Sometimes a little too literally. That said, the checkpoint system in Halo Reach is still a bit confusing to me. Sometimes when you hit and don't hit a checkpoint can be really frustrating. Outside of the main game, there are a few extras. The biggest one is Firefight, which is this arcade type of game where you only have so many lives and have to survive against stronger and stronger waves of Covenant. It's a lot funner if you have friends to play with, but it's still a pretty decent distraction even by yourself. Now, I have normally skipped the online gameplay of the games found in the Master Chief Collection, partially because the matchmaking and other bugs in that game make it suck, but also recording online games means blurring out gamer tags and all that stuff. So let me say this, when I stop and play through Reach, I played through several online games and it was so much fun. It's faster and easier to start up this 6-year-old game than any game in the Master Chief Collection, and the online maps and modes are still fun to play with others. This game online mode will last a lot longer than the campaign. Let's talk about the graphics. Perhaps it might be the Xbox One emulation, or it could be just that I got used to the games running so smoothly on the Xbox One and the remasters of the Halo Master Chief Collection, but Halo Reach seems clunky, but I think it's always felt clunky to me. Still, I like what they did with the environments. Reach is a mountainous, hilly planet, and you see that in a lot of the settings and backgrounds. And again, the environments go really dark towards the end of the game. It's why I can forgive them for doing another repeated stage scenario in the way that you have to go back to the sword base again, but it made the sword base a lot darker and it seemed a whole lot less friendlier the second time you have to do it. And it really fit the story better, and it's not quite as egregious as the original Halo. The enemy builds are also slightly darker and more intimidating than they were in other Halo games. We get some really nice voice actor. Jen Taylor plays Dr. Hosley, who is an interesting character, and I always like the way she voices this character. It's about as far away from Princess Peach as you can get.
Alien artifact, neither human nor Covenant in origin, advanced beyond our comprehension, until now. Thanks to Noble 2, the decrypting of its data is nearly complete.
And this game also has some awesome music. I give Halo Reach a solid 4 out of 5. It's a very memorable game and a big step up from what ODST was. It's got a lot of new weapons, a lot of new areas, and it's got a memorable story. Even if it doesn't really lead the series forward, it's still memorable to go through, and it's a really fun sci-fi shooter, and I do recommend picking it up. It is Xbox One backwards compatible, so if you own an Xbox One, you can still play this game, and it's still a blast to play. It is not available on the Master Chief Collection. It's the only Bungie game that's not available on the Master Chief Collection. Speaking about the Master Chief Collection, I think it's time that we go back and visit that again. Let's look at Halo 4. This one was made by 343 Studios, and we will be taking a look at that one tomorrow. In the meantime, this is Tommy signing out. But before you leave, feel free to click that subscribe button. I do reviews and talk about games on this channel, and I would love to have you as a member of my community.